Why would you want to go to cameo.com and have a personalized shout out? Come to nowondeck.com, find me, Ron Hall, and I'll do one just for you. Birthdays, anniversaries, whatever you want, a personalized video or audio greeting for you now on nowondeck.com. Good evening, everybody. Happy Tuesday, and welcome to another edition of Jump Into the Fire. Ron Hall here. Hope you're having a good day. It looks like the bad weather's finally over, but I decided to retire to the kitchen tonight. And hello, Kim. Hello, Alan. I couldn't ask for two more loyal people. Amy update. Good news. She will be going to rehab the second week of October. She will be going to St. Cloud, Florida. Long way from and the best area that can keep an eye on her. And that'll during that time down in Florida. So good news. I will tonight repost the link for the GoFundMe page because every little bit is going to help. It has been a long road. Now the poor kid has the flu and strep throat, but she doesn't have COVID. They did a rapid test at the doctor's office today, so that's good. Hello, Michelle. While Michelle's here, folks, be watching gomox.com the next 48 hours, and you're going to see something very, very exciting. And I'm going to leave it at that. But be watching gomox.com. Here the next, either tomorrow or Thursday, and you're gonna like it, I promise. I want to relay a story to you. As most of you know, this beautiful, handsome face just turned 64, but I'm single. Hey, stuff happens. I'm comfortable in my own skin. As Mac Davis once said, Lord, it's hard to be humble when you're perfect in every way. I can't wait to look in the mirror. I get better looking each day. To know me is to love me. I must be a hell of a man. Lord, it's hard to be humble, but I'm doing the best I can. So I had the opportunity to meet someone And they asked me to meet them at a night spot or sports bar on Brainerd Road. And no, it wasn't Hooters. I think everybody can guess. Those who know me know I don't go to those places. Now, there was a time back in my 18, 19, because when I turned 18, the legal drinking age was 18. So you could go out. And at that time, Brainerd Road was the place to be. So from that time up, yesterdays, that was the bomb. That's where I met Dennis Haskins, Mr. Belding on Saved by the Bell, distinguished alum of Chattanooga. And Dennis and I have kept that friendship over the years. But I sobered up. Married the kid's mother. And on the very, very rare occasion would I go into a place like that. Now, when I lived in Orlando and my wife and I separated, there was a big club in the mid-'80s called JJ Whispers in Orlando. And I got convinced to go out there a couple of times. But I'm just not a bar person. Last time I was in a bar before last week was a music venue that is now closed called Songbirds. And that was to see my dear friend from high school, Danny Shirley and Confederate Railroad. So I went down there last week. Amy was doing okay. So I said, I'm going to take this opportunity reasonably close to my age. So I go down there. And I'm not trying to be judgmental. But at a certain point, don't you decide, I don't want to hang out in bars all the time? Or is that just being too judgmental? Do I want to hear some lame cover band try to do Metallica, Motley Crue, really bad 80s music? But this Hello Diane, really bad 80s music. And then I just watched. And I'm going to give you my new name for the place at the end of this story. I had my Coca-Cola. Probably should have gotten water. But this is a middle of the week night, and the place is packed. No regard for the pandemic that's going on right now. Nothing. But the comment was made, I'm here all the time. And I heard that from many people there talking about how, well, I'll see you here tomorrow night. Or you're going to be here this weekend, aren't you? Oh, I'm going to be here Friday and Saturday. Am I just being an old fuddy-duddy? Somebody answer me. Am I just being an old fuddy-duddy because I don't find the need to hang out in a bar all weekend or 3 or 4 nights during the week? Is it wrong to think that way? I mean, isn't there more to life than going to a bar, nightclub, sports bar that's been around for many, many, many years? Rhymes with puds. And is it just me? Or is there something inherently strange about a 40 or 50 or perhaps early 60s man wearing his hair in a ponytail? As the great comic Dennis Leary says, if you're over the age of 50 and you have a ponytail, you better damn well be the bass player for Bryan Adams. Otherwise, cut your damn hair. It's kind of like the other part of the bit. If you're over the age of 50 and you've got an earring, you better be a damn pirate. Isn't there a time that you just decide to grow up? I understand that, Michelle. But every night of the week? Maybe I'm just because I'm an alcoholic. Maybe I've got that as a point of reference in my mind. But I just don't feel the need. So, needless to say, and I saw Gwen Tidwell, who I value her friendship immensely. But at a certain point, do you make the decision, you know what? I think I'm better off just living alone for the rest of my life. Is that so bad? I do like my own company. I mean, I can be a sphincter muscle sometimes, but I know, Michelle, and you're going to give me crap about continuing to smoke the next time you guys are here from Cali. And I looked at the roster for the softball team today. Only two players from California this season. That is an oddity for mock softball. Of course, you're number 4, Haley, and Natalie Luna are the only 2 Cali girls we've got left. Because Amanda went home, Emma went home. But the way I look at it is sooner or later they do come back to Chattanooga. Just talk to the GOAT, of mock softball, Michelle Fuzzard LaCourse. She came here to play softball, met Zach, never went back to Cali. And in fact, now her mom and dad moved from Cali out here. So, yeah, it happens. Amanda Ross is still in Chattanooga. So it's a hard place to break away from. I had at one time thought about moving back to Florida, but to hell with it. But it just seemed a little bit inherently sad to see people near my age and then learning that they're there every time the doors are open. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but it seemed inherently sad. And you watch as men near my age or the same age are trying to is hit on. Is that still an appropriate slang for trying to get acquainted with someone you've never met before and you meet them at a bar? But it goes the other way too. Women near my age approaching guys who couldn't be more than 30 or 31 years old. I mean, I have a dividing line. If a woman does not know who the Beatles are, I'm not wasting my time. You got to at least know who the Beatles are. I know. And in fact, I do believe, Michelle, I have met her beau. I think I met him last year at the Lookouts game. He came to pick her up after work. So, but be watching GoMox.com here the next couple of days. I promise that's all I would say. And that's my family. And so I do what they ask. But am I? He did seem like a good guy, Michelle. He really did. Needless to say, I stayed no more than 35 minutes because I just couldn't handle it. Call me old. Call me boring. That's just not my cup of tea. And so a single woman who frequents bars on Friday and Saturday night, off the list. Not going to happen. I'm better off just being by myself. Just better off. I've renamed the place Cougarville. And then, but I just wanted to throw that out there because it just seemed inherently sad. This is my socialization. Because the people I have to deal with on a daily basis sometimes are not the most pleasant. And people wonder why sometimes in the evenings when I get home, I'm a genuine jackwagon. It rubs off after a while. But I've been in debt collections for the better part of, let me do this, 1985 to 2007. No, 2006. 1985 to 2006. And then from 2012 up until I went into semi-retirement, I've been in debt collections. And sometimes you deal with good people and sometimes you deal with people like me. But hopefully I did the right thing. Perhaps I should have picked up the phone and called and said, look, I'm not interested. Perhaps I should have said it right there. Maybe the hint was taken when I left after about 30 minutes. Paid my $4.25 bar tab, and I left. Into that. I wanted to bring, if anybody out there knows who Herb Alpert is, one, he's a musical genius. Everybody at one time or another has heard Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass. In fact, this is not meant to offend anybody. Okay? Before I throw this up there, this is not meant to offend, but it is one of the greatest album covers in the history of music. Herb Alpert, Whipped Cream, and Other Delights. It's one of the greatest album covers of all time. He also founded A&M Records, which Joe Cocker, Peter Frampton, the Go-Go's, the Police, the Carpenters. He's responsible for the world hearing them as the founder of A&M Records. Well, on October the 1st, Facebook Live, it is a documentary that has just been completed about Herb Alpert. And it's called Herb Alpert Is. And on October the 1st, it will be aired on Facebook Live before it goes into theaters and on demand. If you love music, watch it. Number one, he's one of the greatest trumpet players ever. And during my short term in the school band, and it was a very short term, I took up the trumpet because of Herb Alpert. But then I discovered Eric Clapton, and I switched to the guitar. And like I told you a few weeks ago, I've just recently sold the last guitar I own. So watch it. Before the debate comes on tonight, go to YouTube. Go to YouTube and find Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass. I don't know. I'm going to try this. And if I get gigged by YouTube, I hope you guys will understand that if in a replay that it may not show up, but we're going to give this a shot. And I'm going to give you just a little snippet, and you'll have to tell me whether you can hear it or not. But this is right from that album. We got an ad playing right now. So that's not going to help us any. As soon as the ad ends, you can hear the music. That's the problem with YouTube. Now, I'm live on YouTube. That's Herb Alpert. I think everybody's heard that. Now, Kim, you could have some fun with Kip because I know what Kip's musical tastes are to a large part. Tell him you have just fallen in love. Hi, Susan. You've fallen in love with Herb Alpert. And here's the thing, Herb Alpert still goes on the road. He doesn't have to, but he still does because he loves the music. And he has a great quote in this documentary. You don't hear music through your ears. You hear the music in your soul. Music hits you in the soul. And that's where you feel it. That's why I am a huge Michael McDonald fan. I mean, I'm just a huge Michael McDonald fan. But if you get a chance, watch the documentary. October 1st, Facebook Live. I think it's at 8 o'clock. And you're going to love it. Hello, Tina. Much is being made in some circles about a New York Times report. Excuse me. It's my Rubber Soul coffee mug. Where the New York Times is claiming they have proof now that President Trump only paid $750 in taxes 2 times. Folks, that's why I'm not going to beat the guy up over it. That's why you have accountants. To reduce your tax burden as much as possible. So I'm not going to fault the man. Is he in as deep a financial hole as the New York Times is reporting? I don't know. If he is, the chickens will come home to roost. But I'm not going to bash the man for having good accountants that can save him tax money. Because our goal is to reduce our tax burden as much as possible. So I'm not going to rant, rave, kick, scream over this story about taxes. I'm just not going to do it. It's that simple. There's no need. I think it's Hadley, the guard Hadley in the Shawshank Redemption, where he says there's no need to get in a twist. And there's really no need to get in a twist about this. The guy just has an army of accountants that know what they're doing. I mean, you can go back to the 60s and 70s and into the 80s, how many British musicians left England because of their extraordinarily high taxes. That's one of the reasons John Lennon moved to New York City, because the taxes in Great Britain were taking almost 80% of the money he was making. There was a reason Mick Jagger left England for quite a while, because of the taxes. Love him or hate him, there's a reason Rush Limbaugh moved to Florida. Taxes. Florida is one of the... I enjoyed living there because, number one, it's like Tennessee. There is no state income tax in Florida. Sales tax is relatively low. That's one of the reasons I won't move back to Georgia. Although here in the, probably within the next month, you may not see this kitchen anymore. You may not see the living room anymore, because I could be moving. Haven't just decided yet, but it's time to make a change. It's just time for a change. So if there's a Saturday night that I am not here, which could be this Saturday night, but in the future, I will tell you, no show tonight because I'm busy moving. I just got a text from somebody. Peter Griffin just screamed at me. But it was not important. But before we get out of here tonight, okay, hang on a minute. As Tina, as former tax professional, I'm interjecting that they know how to wiggle in the gray areas and assign losses in ways that don't red flag the return. And that's the thing. His accountants did what had to be done. So I'm not going to fault him. $750 seems a little bit light, but his accountants worked it that way, you know? So who am I to complain? That's right. Sheryl Crow did say a little change will do me good. So, you know, that's in the near future. Trust me. But before we get out of here tonight, how many of you are going to watch the debate? I mean, tonight is debate one. Moderated by Chris Wallace of Fox News. And I have the utmost respect for Chris Wallace. He does hearken back to the old tagline of Fox News, fair and balanced. It's too bad they lost Shepard Smith, who is now on CNBC doing a nightly newscast. And I'm going to be watching. I don't think anything Alan's watching, Kurt's watching, Michelle's watching, Kim's watching. Ooh, I like that, Tina. The tax version of 50 Shades of Grey. Which pauses for this question. Why are they showing the 50 Shades of Grey trilogy on cable television when most of it's going to have to be cut out. If you're going to show the 50 Shades movies, and I've not seen any, boy, but I've heard about it. I'm going to put it on HBO or Showtime or Cinemax or something. I mean, that's just saying. That's kind of like the running joke back when it was ABC Family Channel. Why the hell were they showing Pretty Woman on the Family Channel? A hooker with a heart, I guess, is why. I don't know. But I'm going to watch the debate. Tina said she's watching. And this is where Kurt and I can agree. Flat tax. Just flat tax. And if you draw Social Security, you should not be forced. You should not have to pay taxes. Just my opinion. If you've worked long enough to draw your Social Security, you should never have to pay income tax again. Well, and the thing is, most people who draw Social Security do not make enough money to have to file taxes. So, there's an old friend of mine from Blue Cross Blue Shield, Gina. But, I'm going to watch it. Angie, my daughter's coming to Florida, Angie, to go to rehab. Going to be going down to St. Cloud. We will fly her down there. And a dear JC friend of mine is going to pick her up at the airport in Orlando, which is 15, 20 minutes from Kissimmee, St. Cloud. And that's right, it's Kissimmee, not Kissimmee. You can always tell somebody that's new to Florida because they don't say Kissimmee. And it's not Oviedo, it's Oviedo. But I'll watch the debate. I'm still not going to tell a damn soul who I'm voting for until election night. And that will be a special election night edition of Jump Into the Fire when I will tell you who I voted for. Because I'm voting early. And I think early voting starts in Tennessee on the 14th. So, folks, I'm going to get out of here. Thank you ever so much for making me a part of your lives, because you do. Because you're here. We're building an audience. And it is humbling to say the least. Go enjoy the debate tonight. Root on your candidate. I'm just going to sit and watch and hope both people conduct themselves as a president should. And I will be going and buying a new book that has just been released by basically the man who ran Washington, D.C. for the better part. He was with Ronald Reagan. He was with George H.W. Bush, and he was with George W. Bush, and that's James Baker, who I have a whole lot of respect for. A lot of respect. But everybody go make it a wonderful Tuesday night. We will see you one way or the other. I will let you know. It'll either be Saturday night at 7 o'clock or Sunday night at 7 o'clock. I will have to let you know over the weekend. So everybody have a great, great, great night. And remember, be kind to each other, please.
That's all, folks.